Namaste, I'm Shiva Swati, and this video is about when you need a past life session in cases of incomplete death. Now, the concept of incomplete death is that if the person is not aware of when death has happened, it is called an incomplete death, especially if the person is a child. I have seen regressions when a child died and he just went into another body and was reborn and had another mother, and he had no realization of death or that his mother has changed. There are parallel souls, and the same soul of the mother in another body, and he reached her and entered her child, and there was absolutely no awareness of death. There are past life regressions required in such cases because suddenly anxiety can come up in a future life whenever you are crossing a road. For any trivial reason, anxiety can come up. You are not aware when anxiety has risen or because of which reason. If you have died because of a suicide, again you will need a past life regression because you are not aware of the moment of death. You are very, very disconnected from light. You feel unsupported, and all the problems with which you die in a past life come up in the present life. And you again feel like committing suicide, but in the present life, you withhold yourself, and then you need a past life regression to come out of depression and anxiety. You would need a past life regression if your marriage is not working, and if you want to divorce, or if you are having an anxiety because of an extramarital affair. Then the anxiety would be coming from an incomplete death in a past life usually, and you would realize through a past life regression how you are connected with that person. You need a past life regression if you have died by committing sati in a previous life, which is similar to suicide. You die by burning, by jumping in the fire because your husband dies. This used to happen in Rajput families previously, and usually the problem is that when you die burning in fire, you reach hell because hell is considered synonymous with burning in fire. So when you are reborn, it is not actual hell, it is metaphorically hell, because you feel as if you are burning all the time. You are angry with your parents in your next life all the time. You are feeling unsupported, and your skin is dry, and you feel there is lack of water everywhere. You might be born in a desert. You might be born with parents who are very busy and they cannot give you love. You might be born in a financially deprived family, and you might be feeling hunger all the time, as if you're burning with hunger all the time. You might be born in a very rich family, but there is unrest, there is a lot of fighting amongst parents, so you're burning with sadness all the time. Yeah, so burning can happen metaphorically, emotionally, in any situation, and it is extreme sadness, extreme depression, extreme anxiety. And you need to be pulled out of hell literally to be calm and not depressed again. And in these lifetimes, past life regression helps a lot. It would help a lot more than psychological counseling if you have died with suicide or burning, because you will have access to your soul mind and your subconscious mind. Otherwise, in 90% of cases, psychological counseling helps. Only in about 10% of cases, we need past life regression. Like if there are 100 people going to a psychologist or a psychiatrist, there would be 10 people coming to a past life therapist. Uh, so it's not that everyone requires past life regression or everyone is evolved enough. It is not a mass um, awareness skill. It is something very, very specific and very, very high in design. So it is for evolved souls usually, because everyone cannot even understand the concept or have the faith to see a past life, because it appears like imagination, but the feelings are very real. And you would feel anguish if you have died in a war, terrorism, and there's burning all around. So you feel the anguish, though what you see might appear like imagination, as if you're seeing a film, but you actually feel, you're crying, you're feeling stuck, you feel helpless, you feel surrounded by fire everywhere, and there is so much anxiety in you. And when you are released, when you are made aware that you have died, you're sent to the clouds, you are healed, the life is re-scripted so that you take a turn and you don't get burned there. and then you feel yourself back in your present life, and you're in a normal body, and you see flowers and your normal house, calmness, you're no longer in war, it's the present life. Then your anxiety goes away. Even soldiers who die with bombs in war, I have released, and they are not aware of death, they suddenly die, and then they have to be brought in the present life and told that the war is over. Then the anxiety goes. So anxiety comes from a past life, and especially if you have died by burning or by murder, by a bullet, anxiety takes you over suddenly at any point in time when you're feeling defeated or low, and then it just consumes you till it is released in a past life regression through completing the death. And then you're made aware that you are in a new life and a new body, and there is no more war, there is no more terrorism, you're safe. And usually, if you have not died by suicide, your next life will be better than the previous life. Always. So if I have had people who have been very poor in previous lives, and they are very, very rich in present life. So normally the next life is better financially and emotionally than the previous life. I had a girl, and she was a lawyer in the present life, and she was from a very rich family, and she was a prostitute in a past life, and she was born on the streets and living on the streets. All her life she's lived on the streets and died on the streets, and in this life she's very rich. So that happens, that your karma gets over in a previous life, and then in the present life normally you are much better off, but you don't realize it till you go into a past life therapy session and you release the spirit, you release those negative emotions, you release the anxiety, and then you are aware that you have a much better life than before, and that this life is in your control. You can do things the way you want. You are no longer subject to helplessness. It appears you are helpless because you have died in an incomplete death in a past life, but once you are aware that that happens, then your power comes back, and you see a lot of your life is in your control. So normally 15 hours of healing is required minimum these days in a past life session, because sessions are coming with extreme anxieties and they cannot be healed in one session. So 3 sessions are required, and with a lot of remote healing. So after one session I do a lot of remote healing, so by the time the next session happens, the person is almost without anxiety. And so you can take one session, and you can take remote healing, or you can take 3 sessions, that's up to you. But at least the payment for 3 sessions has to be done, because every time I do healing I have to send money out to the universe. This is not something where I can save the money. This money has to be sent out for investment and for helping the economy grow. That is how spirits get released. Or it has to be spent on shopping, and uh, normally on shopping or buying crystals or buying clothes or charity, a lot of charity. So this money cannot be saved, and so if I'm doing 15 hours healing and you pay me for 3 hours, then for that 12 hours extra I have to pay. But I have to do the healing if the spirit comes up, because I cannot leave the spirit, otherwise it causes me anxiety. So the anxiety of the spirit has to be released. So normally I'm taking now 3 sessions payment. Even if the person comes for 1 session or they come for 3 sessions, that's their own choice. But healing happens whether you come for 1 session or 3 sessions, because through remote healing, healing will happen. That is my karma, that I have to clear the healing, and I have to send the release to God, the spirit to light, to God, so that there is rebirth and there is peacefulness in the present life. And I do my karma to the best, because this is my salvation life. So I work with totally positive intention, and if you are positive, you will definitely receive the healing. So 98% of people who come to me are positive, and they are healed very, very well. So doubt of course exists in everyone, but there are 98% people who can overcome doubt. They have enough faith inside them. And 99% people, 1% more, also gets healed over a period of time. There's just 1% which has bipolar depression. They do not benefit from past life regression. Otherwise, unipolar depression and anxiety and relationship conflicts, concentration problems, all these get healed through past life regression very, very well. And also lifetimes where you have committed samadhi, where you have died as a saint, those lifetimes require past life regression, especially if this is a lifetime of salvation. Then you will require to complete that death. Be aware of the moment you die. Go and meet God in the clouds. Come back and then rebirth. Finish your present life without escaping householder duties, and then you get salvation. So there are types of deaths which are incomplete, and they have to be completed for salvation, and in those cases you will need past life regression. Otherwise, for 90% of situations, people go for counseling. I also go for past life regression. I also go for counseling, and I find both useful in different ways. So, but always take help from a psychiatrist, psychologist, or a past life therapist, because it really helps to improve your mental health, move towards spiritual ascension, and pay without blinking, pay without complaining, because then it helps more. If you pay with abuse, if you pay with sorrow, then you attract the same. But if you pay with confidence that the therapy will help you, it will help you spiritually, and you don't complain about the payment. Like, I don't complain. Earlier I used to complain when I was young, but now I don't even take discounts because from healing people, because I know that if I pay more, the healing will be more. That I know, because healing money is always paid back by God. It is not a loss. God will always reimburse you for your healing and for your crystals or whatever you spend in the temple. All that is reimbursed by God. So healing really helps, and you should always take care of your mental health, not just the physical health. Yoga is not enough. You need therapy, you need psychological counseling, you need venting out, you need talking to people who are professionals in the field, so that you feel much better in everyday life. Just like you need to exercise to feel better, you need to talk out to feel better. And laymen are usually not good advisors. Your friends and your family and your relatives, they might make you more negative. So you need to talk to professionals who are trained into making you positive, and the right words. They use the right words, they use the right techniques. Counselors and therapists and past life therapy, and even Reiki counselors and NLP practitioners, they all make you feel more positive than before. That is the intention of therapy, and that is correct therapy, that you should feel more positive and confident after therapy than before. So past life therapy is required in cases of incomplete death, and it really helps complete the death, remove anxiety, and makes you much more positive and confident about your present life. Thank you.